Welcome to the Gospel Road. We are going to look at 1 Chronicles 29 today. Hopefully all is going well, and I know things are changing. Things are really opening up. I know around here, gyms opened up for the first time today, so I was actually able to go to the gym, which is nice. Kind of a dreary day, though, around here. We had rain over the weekend and still a little overcast today, but not too bad. And I know it was kind of busy with a lot of other places opening up over the weekend, some restaurants, but still not too bad. Not too bad at all. I know a lot of offices, though, are still going to be working from home. They're not planning too quickly to get people back into the offices. So as we pretty much have been saying, it's just kind of like wait and see what happens, wait and see how things go, and just kind of play it by ear. It's, again, very interesting time, like everybody says. Like I said, 1 Chronicles 29, it says, "And David the king said to all the assembly, Solomon my son, whom alone God has chosen, is young and inexperienced, and the work is great, for the palace will not be made for man, but for the Lord God. So I have provided for the house of my God, so far as I was able, the gold for the things of gold, silver for the things of silver, and bronze for the things of bronze, the iron for the things of iron, and wood for the things of wood, besides great quantities of onyx and stones for setting, antimony, colored stones, all sort of precious stones, and marble. Moreover, in addition to all that I have provided for the holy house, I have a treasure of my own, gold and silver, and because of my devotion to the house of my God, I give it to the house of my God. 3,000 talents of gold, and of the gold of Ophir, and 7,000 talents of refined silver for the overlay the walls of the house, and for all the work to be done by craftsmen, gold for things of gold, silver for things of silver. Who then will offer willingly, consecrating himself today to the Lord? The leaders of the Father's house made their freewill offerings, as did also the leaders of the tribes, the commanders of thousands and hundreds, and the officers over the king's work. They gave for the service of the house of God 5,000 talents, 10,000 derricks of gold, and 10,000 talents of silver, 18,000 talents of bronze, and 100,000 talents of iron. And whoever had precious stones gave them to the treasury of the house of the Lord in the care of Jehiel the Jerusalite. Then the people rejoiced because they had given willingly, for with a whole heart they had offered freely to the Lord. David the king also rejoiced greatly. Therefore David blessed the Lord in the presence of all of the assembly, and David said, Blessed are you, O Lord, the God of Israel, our Father, forever and ever. Yours, O Lord, is the greatness and the power and the glory and the victory and the majesty, for all that is in the heavens and in the earth is yours. Yours is the kingdom, O Lord, and you are exalted as head above all. Both riches and honor come from you, and you rule over all. In your hand are power and might, and in your hand it is to make great and to give strength to all. And now we thank you, our God, and praise your glorious name. But who am I, and what is my people, that we should be able thus to offer willingly? For all the things come from you, and of your own have we given you. For we are strangers before you and sojourners, as all of the fathers we were. Our days on the earth are like a shadow, and this is no abiding. Our Lord our God, all this abundance that we have provided for building you a house for your holy name comes from your hand and is all your own. I know, my God, that you test the heart and have pleasure in uprightness. In the uprightness of my heart I have freely offered all these things. And now I have seen your people who are present here offering freely and joyously to you. O Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, our fathers, keep forever such purposes and thoughts in the hearts of your people, and direct their hearts toward you. Grant to Solomon my son a whole heart, that he may keep your commandments, your testimonies, and your statutes, performing all, and that he may build the palace for which I have made provision. Then David said to all the assembly, Bless the Lord your God. And all of the assembly blessed the Lord, and the God of their fathers, and bowed their heads, and paid homage to the Lord and to the king. And they offered sacrifices to the Lord, and on the next day offered burnt offerings to the Lord, 1,000 bulls, 1,000 rams, and 1,000 lambs, with their drink offerings and sacrifices in abundance for all Israel. And they ate and drank before the Lord on that day with great gladness. And they made Solomon, the son of David, king the second time, and they anointed him as prince for the Lord, and Zadok as priest. Then Solomon sat on the throne of the Lord as king in the place of David his father, and he prospered, and all of Israel obeyed him, all the leaders and the mighty men, and also all the sons of King David pledged their allegiance to King Solomon. And the Lord made Solomon very great in the sight of all Israel, and bestowed on him such royal majesty as had not been on any king before him in Israel. Then David, the son of Jesse, reigned all over Israel. The time that he reigned over Israel was 40 years. He reigned 7 years in Hebron, and 33 years in Jerusalem. Then he died at a good age, full of days, rich and honor. And Solomon his son reigned in his place. Now the acts of King David, for the first to last, are written in the Chronicles of Samuel the seer, and in the Chronicles of Nathan the prophet, and in the Chronicles of Gad the seer, with accounts of his rule and his might, and of the circumstances that came upon him and upon Israel, and upon all of the kingdoms of the countries. 1 Chronicles 29. Again, that's what we're looking at today. And as I always say, read it. What does it say to you? How is it kind of speaking to you? When they're talking about offerings for the temple that's being built, that's going to be built, and how the people are joyful and how they are really glad, working together, kind of putting those pieces that need to be taken care of. Now, when you are doing your work, this is the interesting pieces where I see this, the joyful and the glad. So I did a Facebook Live trivia over the weekend, which I've been doing those for a while, and I know some people are really enjoying them, as many are kind of still stuck at home, and as things are opening up, some are getting out, but not everybody is leaving. Some are still staying at home and just kind of keeping their distance, keeping the social distancing in check. Even when I went to the gym today, it was not very busy. Not as busy as it normally is. I know normally when I go, it's not the busiest anyway, but people still kind of unsure how to do things. But when you're doing things and you're moving forward, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of places still going to be working from home, not going to be taking that step out. I know there are companies that they say even as the restrictions are going to be lifting, they're still going to try and do the best they can for the protection of their employees and just to see how things play out as we move forward. With that, there has been a lot of people that have not been able to be very joyful over the past couple months. I know some people that really enjoy their jobs, but since they've been working from home, they're not enjoying them quite as much because, again, we kind of have that way that we do things. We have the when we get up in the morning and we go and we get that coffee, we head to the office. A lot of routines have really been interrupted, and because of that interruption of routines, it's really caused people to kind of hold back and not feel the best. Right now, people really need that encouragement. People really need to be lifted up. as we are trying to figure out where we're going to go, what we're going to do, how this is all going to be taken care of. And again, it's not going to be a short journey. It's going to be a long one. It's going to last a while, and we need to really be aware of those that we are around or working with or talking to help them. And are we freely giving? Are we freely having conversations with them to kind of help them through as they're going through these changes, and also trying to figure out how things are going to end up when this is all said and done? And none of us know where that's going to be. It's open-ended. I've been in a couple meetings over the past week, and they're trying to have conversations, or they're trying to make plans, and you're not able to have those plans. You're not able to make those decisions because you're not sure what is going to happen. There are county fairs and state fairs that have already canceled and are not going to happen. There are conventions that are not going to happen. People were really excited about. I know I had a convention that I was going to be going to next month. That has been postponed because they're not really sure how things are going to play out. As well as they're not sure how things are going to be in the town or the city that they are going to be having the conventions as well. I mean, even though they keep saying we're all in this together, which we are, but we're still in this in different levels, which, as I always say, read what I share with you, because I kind of give you what's going through my mind, but we are all in different areas of life, all different levels on how it really comes and talks to me and kind of lifts me up to help me make that step through. We need to be very aware of that as we are talking to people. I mean, right now you have the debates about masks and no masks and social distancing. Some people are willing to do it. Some people not so much willing to do it. It's being very respectful for those that are around you. I know even for me, when I go out, I've always been one to kind of keep my distance anyway. And we now need to even be more thoughtful of keeping that distance and, making sure we're not getting in people's space. I know I don't like people in my bubble. I don't want people in my space. Keep yourself back. Even having that conversation, you don't need to be right up in my face. And there's some people that just kind of do not have that respect for that bubble, and they just kind of like right in there when you have that conversation, and you don't have to be. Again, it's being respectful for others and thinking about others when having that. Again, as we've talked about, building others up and helping them be the best that they can be. It's having that respect to say, hey, you need help with this. Let me share with you. Let me give you some ideas of what you can do. And I've said this many times. There's a lot of times I'll share things, and it's not because I'm trying to say, hey, you need to do it this way. A lot of times I'm sharing because it's something that I've done, and I've already failed at it. And here's the way that it did work. Or here was an easier way to do it rather than taking that long way to get to the end. So it's taking those ways of really helping people when they're trying to be better at their job, trying to be better at work, to do better. And now it's really trying to spread that out, to share that in everyone's everyday life, in their personal life. Again, it's always trying to be better, trying to take that next step, be better professionally, be better personally, body, mind, and spirit. Really trying to pick all that up, really lift it up, really encourage, and really help people. And at this time where we are, it's something that we really need to think about, really need to help others as they're moving forward, because there is just so much fear out there. People are living in fear. Not saying you need to, not saying you should be. Again, when there can be a fear, there can be a fear of respect, of you're respecting something. I know I mentioned the other day talking about that electrician, having that fear of electrocution, but it's the fear of the electricity, the fear of what they're working with that gives them respect for what they're working with. And that's what it really comes down to, is the respect that you have, the respect that you're sharing for one another, with one another. 1 Chronicles 29 is what we looked at today. Thank you for listening to The Gospel Road. Have a great day. God bless.